All right, guys. Look, there has been a storm brewing in like an invisible storm brewing in my soul for almost 4 or 5 years now, going on the 5th year. And what I mean by that is I just have been doing this inner work, trying to figure out who I am, what I need to be doing, what's the Lord called me to do, and in what facet, what platform do I need to share it, right? I just have been trying to become so self-aware and just heal from my childhood so that my kids don't have to. I have 2 daughters. I'm trying to be the very best parent to them. And then I realized I also need to work on being a wife. You know, I came from a single mom who, my mom's dad died when she was 2. And it's just, I've been married over 5 years now, and I just came to the realization, like, crap, maybe I don't know how to be a full-on partner in life, you know? No wonder I don't know how to really clean that well or cook that well. Like, I know how to love my kids and prioritize them, and I know how to encourage and love others, do no harm, and let people be themselves, and to be a good mom, and to work hard. That's what I know how to do. That's what I was taught, right? Like, it's cyclical, everything. And most of it's learned behavior until you unlearn it. And so, like, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to figure out and get quiet and get still and do the inner work so that I can be in a position where I can be spoken through. Like, my goal is to not speak unless spoken through, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna call this a spiritual awakening of a hot mess, because that's 100% what I am. I am a hot damn mess, y'all. Hot mess. But that's okay. A lot of us are. Maybe a lot less of us admit that out loud. You know, a lot of people are trying to keep face, and I still am in a lot of ways. I'm learning that, but I'm trying to unlearn that. That's learned behavior. Like, I'm trying to truly, like, let my subconscious receive and accept the fact that my birthright is that I am enough. I am enough for what, you might ask? What is she enough for? Everything, anything. My birthright is I am loved and cherished and worthy and grace and humility and accepted and belong. I belong. I have respect. I have class, dignity, all the good things. Strength, courage, wisdom, knowledge, ability, skills. I mean, all the things. All the things. And so I have to, like, I'm working. I'm still working. And this video helps me. And that's why I'm doing this way. I'm going to document this journey from here on out, because I hope that in sharing this and being myself, because I don't know how else to be. Like, I'm a terrible liar, guys, because you could see right through me. I'm hoping my authenticity and my growth gives you permission to heal and nourish your soul and activate what you are called to do. Activate what God's called you to do. And let me say this. If you're not a religious person, if you have been hurt or scorned by organized religion, I hear you, man. I hear you. There's people in my family that I no longer speak to or want to be associated with, and in fact, I only because you can't have regrets. Everything's God has His hand in everything, but you can't go back and change things. But I did spend a lot of times and a lot of holidays with some of my aunts and uncles that I definitely wish I wouldn't have. But nonetheless, it was lesson learned, right? I guess the lesson there is just thinking out loud here, because that's what we're going to be doing. The lesson learned there is the fact that I lived through the proof of deceit, right? Like, the outside is not what's going on the inside. So I don't regret that, because it's just like, it just furthers the lesson that I learned once I heard horrible things about them, you know? And the horrible thing, look, we're about growth here. The horrible thing was that they knew that their granddaughter was being molested by her granddad, walked in on it and told her to forgive them, told her 5-year-old granddaughter to forgive him because that's what Jesus would want her to do. The God I serve does not condone that. The God I serve, no. There is grace and mercy and forgiveness, but that's only after you're sorry. You have to have a sorrowful heart for what you've done. Continuing to do it for another 4 years until she's 9 now, and the only reason why I was put to a stop is because one of her friends had come over and recognized that wasn't the right behavior, because unfortunately she was sexually abused, and so that's when it stopped. So she called her dad. Someone else had to intervene and get involved. Like, my mind's still blown by this, and all I'm saying is give God another shot. Some people don't even call him God. Look at Oprah's Super Soul Sundays. I love that podcast. And the reason I feel so drawn to it, I know, is because it doesn't put God in a box. People don't have the authority to put your relationship with God in a box. No one has that authority. No, the Pope himself does not have that authority. Do they have authority to speak and lead? Yes. Until they don't, though. Until they don't, because it even says in the Bible that there's corrupt among the synagogue. He told them all the time, like, what a hypocrite you are. Like, aren't you doing the same thing? Like, just because you're circumcised doesn't give you the right to heaven. Like, and that just shows us over and over again is everything's not black and white. But doing the right thing is, and integrity is. You just got to do the right thing. That's what I continue to do. I'm trying to do the right thing, trying to work out this crap in my head, and I'm trying just to keep just being more in the moment, to just spiritually awaken. I want my spirit to awaken, and I want to live everything I was called to be. I want to stop living small. I feel like if you met me in person, you would say, girl, you don't live small. Like, you live out loud. And I do, but there are, in my subconscious mind, I don't believe that I'm worthy of yet. I'm working on it, but I'm not, my default is not, I'm worthy of that. It's not. It is up to a threshold, certain threshold, right? But then I'll find myself back down. And then I'll go back up, and then back down, and then back up, and then back down. And it's like, why do I do that? Well, I don't know. I'm working that out. I do affirmations every day saying, hey, I am worthy, I'm capable, I am enough. My birthright is the same as your birthright, which is to live abundantly. And that's okay to live abundantly, and that's including money. I'm like, Jennifer, it's okay. It's okay for all of your bills to be paid, your kids to go to a great school and dress nice, to drive a nice car, to live in a nice house, and still have money in the bank. You don't have to give it away to your family. You don't have to pull everybody out of the ditch. And I feel like that's what I've done for years now, is like, I only allow myself to have this much and then I give it away, which is great. That's great to have a servant's heart and to have compassion and love for one another. But at the end of the day, even Jesus held people accountable. Like, he knew when to walk away from people. He knew that, hey, I'll turn the water into wine, but you got to carry it over here. Like, you got to do what you can do. Like, you must. And that's the thing. I need to stop trying to pull people out of the ditches, because I keep finding myself here. And I don't like it. I don't want any more. And I want to release that. And I know that I can make an impact and without being in this position. And that's why I'm frustrated right now. It's like I've hit a low, and for all intents and purposes, it could have been prevented. Did it happen for a reason? Sure. Like, sometimes you got to fall apart to build something greater. And I know that that's what's happening right now. That's why this video camera's on. That's why I'm not going to edit it. And that's why I'm going to put it on my channel so you can listen to this. If you're listening to this, I need you to know this. My words are anointed. I have authority in my life to tell myself I'm worthy, and I have authority, and I've been anointed to tell you that you're worthy. Your birthright is abundance. Your birthright is love. Your birthright is acceptance. Your birthright is belonging. Your birthright is that you are good enough. You have to know that. Believe that to be true, because Reality is your human mind will filter where you came from, what your economic status was, were your parents married or divorced, was your dad an alcoholic, or was your mom abusive, or both. You know, were you sexually abused but you liked it but you didn't realize that you didn't like it. Now you're 30 and you're dealing with that shame and guilt you've never told anyone, and you're climbing an uphill, unnecessary, unwarranted, unfair mountain of self-worth and destruction, possibly because someone took advantage of your innocence. I don't know where you're at in your life, but I need you to know this. There is more out there. There's more for you to learn. There's more for you to grow. I don't care if you have $1 billion in your bank account. You can still grow. You can still do better. You can still learn. You can still learn compassion and live more compassionately and have more loving words and intentions in your actions. We can always do better. This isn't just about bank accounts here. And it's just not. But at the same time, if you are the person that always gives compassion and love to everyone else, and you extend that nourishment to other people's souls, but you're broke, I'm having to realize, like, I can't keep giving it away. I can't keep maxing out right here, and then, no, I need to keep the momentum going. Like, I got to keep the gravy train going. Money isn't bad. Money is a resource. Money is energy. Money means I can make a larger impact on the world. Money means I can heal more souls and nourish more souls and activate more souls to do what they're called to, all that they're called to be, all of it. And most importantly, give them permission to be themselves. You have the permission. You must be yourself, your best self, but you have to be yourself. Start living more authentically. If your credit card gets declined at the grocery store, don't say, "Oh, that's weird. It just worked at the grocery store." Say, "Oh man, like, I must not have the money." That's more empowering. It's so hard, and then there's shame in that, so that's why we don't do it. We make excuses, but it's like, oh man, look, let me take these things back, but I need these. Like, will this go through? Just have the courage to deal with that heat and that stress in your body when that happens. Have the courage to stand up to a family member and other people if they don't have the strength, you know? And do that for yourself. Like, I'm always the person that's gonna be the voice. I'm so tough, and I'm so absolutely demanding that other people allow themselves to have the best and be the best and do the best and see bigger. But I need to extend that grace and love and encouragement to myself, right? Like, I gotta give myself permission to live big. I gotta give myself permission to have more than my family. That way I can do more. I have more because I do more. I've always taken action. I see bigger. That's a blessing, but that's also a choice. That's a choice, right? So, like, choose to live bigger, because living bigger is more, you can make a bigger impact, right? Like, you can create a bigger platform of not about money. It's not about money. Create a bigger, larger platform out of love. Love, accountability, nourishment, and healing, and authority. Like, I give you permission to start that business. I give you permission to step out in faith. I give you permission to make that cold call. I give you permission to ask the girl out on the date. I give you permission to say no to that date that you know is not the right thing for you. If you date 16 dudes and they're all jacked up on steroids, meatheads, and they look pretty on the outside, but they're horrible behind closed doors, maybe let's break that pattern. Maybe let's break that cycle, right? I just give you permission. I give you permission to live abundantly, and it's not me giving you permission. The Lord speaking through me. He gives you permission. Why do you have permission? Because He has permission. Why does He have permission? Because He is that He is. He's the beginning, the end, the Alpha, the Omega. He's everything. He's in all, through all, everything. He's everything. Why do you have access to more money? Because He is an infinite supply, an infinite resource. It never ends of money. Infinite supply of money and love and grace and gratitude and courage and strength and authority. Like, that word just keeps going through me, keeps saying it to me, because That's what I've been holding back from. I've been waiting for people's permission to take the next step in my business. I've been waiting for people's permission to trying to fit in their box, like, because I'm higher energy. And I've heard people that don't really like that. Well, look, oh, wow. So, I'm sorry. Listen, even God called people of different walks of nature. And by the way, they weren't qualified. They were a hot damn mess. They were a hot mess. They were a hot mess. They were drunk. They were prostitutes. They were a mess. Murderers. But then guess what? He cleaned them up. He qualified them. He anointed them. And they had the discipline to walk and take the steps, walk in faith and not in fear, and didn't conform to the world. Otherwise, why would all these years later people still be reading about these people, right? They did some things, and they didn't have a pretty. I believe God did that on purpose. I believe He uses people that don't come from the white picket fences. He uses people that didn't have an advantage growing up. He uses people because He has to. You have to. Because a part of true success, if you're going to go to the top and stay there, you must have empathy for others. You have to be able to put your mind, be able to walk in their shoes and have understanding and compassion. Like, you have to have that quality too. You also have to be able to take action and make decisions and have courage and take risks. You have to play big, but you also have to have that other key factor. Otherwise, you run over people, run all over people. And that's not what God did. He didn't. He lifted people up. He lifted people up. So I'm hoping these videos, I hope as I share my spiritual awakening of a hot mess, I hope it gives you permission to take God and your relationship with religion, take it out of a box. Call it the universe, call it love, call it light, call it, I don't care, energy source. I don't care what you call it. You shouldn't care what you call it. Just, you define your relationship with Him. You define Him. And then the reason for that is you have to get your validation from an internal source, not external, not the number of views of this video, not the number of likes on Instagram and Facebook, right? Like, we need to be validated not on Twitter, but in the book of the Lamb. That's where we need to be validated. When this all goes away, strip it all down. What does your soul look like naked, right? Take the skin away, the pretty hair, the lashes, all of it, the money, the flash. Who are you? Who am I? Jennifer, who are you? Right? Where do I still need to work? Where do I have work to do? I have compassion and love and empathy for others, but now I'm realizing I got to give that to myself. I got to give myself permission to live big. I can't just keep telling everyone else to do it. I've got to do it. And I also have to give myself permission to take that career path to tell people to live big. Because that is what I'm passionate about. That's what I do. I would do always. For free, always. I would do it forever. And I am a business coach. I am a life coach. And I am a real estate team leader. But nonetheless, I always find myself back to that. Like a complete stranger I'll meet. I mean, we're in deep in 0.5 seconds. And I love that. That does not drain me. I love that. That energizes me. So, have some of my energy. Have some of my love. Have some of my juju. Have some of my light. And just know that you have the permission to live big. And you have the permission to define your life. And you have the permission. And you do not need validation from no one else. It's your birthright. Your birthright. You've been validated. Okay? I love you. I hope this helped. If you like this, please subscribe. Please like the video. And most importantly, just please share it with someone that you might would find healing and nourishment and activation and love, right? Like a olive branch of just goodness extended to them from this. So, all right, guys. Bye.